Princess Anne has always been an unorthodox royal, but now she's making history in an unprecedented way, and it's all in honor of her late mother, Her Majesty the Queen. A rare royal tradition was performed Monday, September 12, 2022, following the heartbreaking death of Queen Elizabeth II.
The greatest media traffic mostly flocks towards news about very powerful people and their controversy. Is there anything more mouth-watering than the British royal family? After the recent loss of Queen Elizabeth II and Prince Charles ascending the throne as king,
this morning, the man the world has known as the Prince of Wales since 1969 ascends to the throne after a lifetime of preparation. The 73-year-old son of Queen Elizabeth served as heir longer than anyone in history.
Many thought there might be little to no drama from the British royal court. However, Princess Anne is about to prove them all wrong as she reveals a damning bombshell. What exactly did she reveal? Is it enough to once again stir the royal pool? Join us as we discuss Princess Anne's bombshell revelation and what it means for the royal court. Let's talk about Princess Anne, the Princess Royal. One could say that the royal family is bursting with testosterone, with a chunk of men all over the place and making decisions. And it seems a little bit like the women are getting left out. However, Princess Anne, being the first, only, and eldest daughter of the late Queen Elizabeth, brings a bit of needed temperament and balance. Princess Anne was born on the 15th of January, 1950, to the late Queen Elizabeth II and Prince Philip of Edinburgh. She is the only sister of King Charles III and was born in the line of succession to the British royal court. The circumstances of her birth as the only daughter of the royal family gave her access to the title of Princess Royal, a style customarily awarded by British monarchs to their eldest daughters. Although purely honorary, it is the highest honor that may be given to a female member of the royal family.
In addition to being involved with more than 300 charities, she carries out more events than any other royal, and carries with her that sense of responsibility.
Many will ask what is so incredibly special about this title. The thing about monarchy is that there is an order to ascendancy that has nothing to do with worth or competence. If you were born first, you have an immediate claim to the throne after the eventual demise of the present ruler. However, it isn't about being firstborn. It needs to be the firstborn son, a testament to the preference for bequeathing power to the first child that has revolved around patriarchy from the inception of time. Hence, as you may have suspected, the Princess Royal title is simply compensation for the eldest daughter. However, how did this role come to be in the first place? In 1642, King Charles I modeled the Princess Royal title after the Madame Royale title from the French court, as he recognized the need for some sense of fairness in the royal ranks towards the women in the blue pool. While some see it as an overarching admission of guilt for deliberately sidelining women from drinking the blue mead, others see it as an act of mercy and praise the late king's efforts for it. The Princess Royal isn't allowed any governmental power, but retains a bit of ceremonial presence for functions of serious importance. It is a sharp contrast to the importance surrounding being the Prince of Wales or the Duke in a dukedom. However, she retains her grace.
King Charles has named his youngest brother Prince Edward, the Duke of Edinburgh, a title held, of course, by his late father Prince Philip for more than 70 years. It had been the late Prince's wish for Prince Edward to be granted the dukedom after his death.
As she approaches the position with royal class and dignity. In the toughest times, her vulnerability and visibility are used as a form of connection to connect people to the royal family. A sort of, hey, here's one of us speaking with you face to face. We really do care about you. And it works like magic in the court of public opinion. Before we dive into Anne's decision to fire a couple of head-scratchers with her revelation, shall we discuss her build-up to her appointment as Princess Royal in 1987? Princess Anne's lifetime of service. It is often said that the royal family creates the challenges while the staff are left to resolve them. Well, that doesn't work for Princess Anne. She was always built differently. She had a menacing sense of responsibility, and she was quite sure what she wanted to do from a rather young age. She started as a rather social bird, flocking around her parents for nearly every social function, learning the ropes and understanding how to communicate with the subjects. Although she knew that she was never going to be queen for obvious reasons, that didn't stop her from learning anyway. As she grew older, she saw the need to lend a hand in the most needy parts of the world. She engaged in some extensive charity work. While the position of Princess Royal is an honor bestowed on the first daughter of the royal family, it's never a given. It is earned. The title is only given to the first daughter if she is deemed deserving of it. Princess Anne's charity work, coupled with her industry and some of her achievements, like her equestrian pursuits, put her right in the spotlight. In 1987, her hard work was crowned with the Princess Royal title, making her the 7th of her kind. Since she was named Princess Royale, she has given her all to the position, not caring at all if it is simply ceremonial or not. Oftentimes, she has been tagged as one of the most hard-working royals, as she is often seen in events more times than any other. As an Olympian herself, she invests her time and energy in sports.
The Princess Royal on the inside, on 10 no trumps, then on the outside comes Emperor Hotfoot, behind them Hamlul, and then on the inside is Common Cider Gypsy just behind them.
Giving young girls and women the motivation needed to climb up in the world of sports. She has always been a trendsetter herself, someone who lights up a path for all to follow, and she does that even now, setting examples for women to follow. Her presence is evenly distributed amongst different social gatherings, whether she is overseeing an engagement or donning soldiers with medals of honor, showing Britain's full support and backing for them. But the times are changing. Humanity and its susceptibility to death, disasters, and evolution cannot be undermined or overlooked, and the British royal court has also been a beneficiary of it all. There has been a dispute over tradition involving the do's and don'ts of the British royal court. Discussions have involved the late Queen Elizabeth II and her take on Prince Harry's choice to marry Meghan Markle. There is also the streamlined decision of King Charles's style of rulership, with the spotlight heavily shone on him, his son, and his grandson. Slowly but surely, the royal family seems to be nearing a crossroads where tradition and adaptability clash. The Princess Royal has also weighed in on the situation, but what compromise will be reached? The royal family has undergone some rather seismic events, with different gossip flying around the media. But there is not much credibility to go along with said gossip. However, one thing is for sure, the princess has always described her style as work first and tradition later. While Anne has found a way to bridge tradition and modernity to suit the demands of the 21st century, not all the other members of the royal family have been able to do the same. One of the greatest changes to the royal house's shuffling was Prince Harry's marriage to Meghan Markle. Markle is a 21st century woman who values independence of thought and expression.
Well, it's only the second day of 2025 and already Meghan Markle is back in the headlines. The Duchess of Sussex has returned to Instagram for the first time since she deleted her account before marrying Prince Harry,
which also speaks to her profession as an actress. However, she was coming into a home where everything had a set order, and while she tried to keep in line, her intrusive thoughts couldn't hold out much longer. How did her presence ignite a cultural clash that would disrupt the royal family's carefully maintained order? The tiara turbulence. In 2017, King Charles's son, Prince Harry, found love on the silver screen of Hollywood. This comes as no surprise to anyone who has seen Meghan Markle. It is often rumored that the late Queen did all that she could to make Meghan feel welcome in the royal family while she dated her grandson, and they haven't even been married yet. Their love story seemed to be the talk of the media, as it became a consistent topic for the press. It all seemed so good from the outside, but there is always some news from palace insiders who believe that there are cracks in the relationship and that we only see a false image. Fast forward to 2018, and it was decided that the lovebirds were set to tie the knot. And the first bout of turbulence happened over a tiara. As is tradition in the British royal family, the bride-to-be is allowed to wear any of the Queen's tiaras. There are some reports of a row between Meghan and the late Queen's dresser, Angela Kelly, as they reportedly disagreed about the type of tiara to use.
Queen's dresser Angela Kelly's brutal fall from confidant to eviction and disrespect. She was the late Queen's most trusted member of staff, who struck up an unlikely yet close and cozy bond with the former monarch.
Meghan could have simply complied with the stylist's decision, especially since she was the Queen's stylist. However, it is the 21st century, and she is a 21st century woman who has always had the freedom of expression and, in her own right, has been treated as a princess behind the Hollywood scenes, with costume designers and makeup artists dressing her up as she liked. Valentine Lowe, royal correspondent for The Times, said in an extract in his new book, Courtiers, The Hidden Power Behind the Crown, that Prince Harry thought the Queen's dresser was being obstructive when she tried to access it for hair trials. Valentine Lowe claims that Harry put pressure on Kelly to bend the rules and used some fairly fruity language when addressing her. While the news and pictures circulated in the media had made it seem as though there were no problems, the Daily Mail's diary editor, Richard Eden, said, Harry felt that Meghan wasn't being treated as she should. Everyone should show her great respect, and here was a servant who was being quite difficult and obstructive. It set a bad tone for the marriage and relationship with the royal family. The news spread like wildfire, and just like you would expect in any altercation, each side has a story, and they have potential allies that divide public opinion. Did the tiara turbulence set a precedent for how the royal family sees Meghan Markle? What Meghan wants, Meghan gets. Even after the wedding in 2018, news of a continuous beef between Prince Harry and other members of the royal family because of the tiara problem seemed to make more waves in the papers than the wedding itself. The most common phrase in the papers was, "What Meghan wants, Meghan gets," which sent the royal house spiraling, creating a royal mess. However, Prince Harry was more than willing to fight for the honor of his home and his newlywed wife. He refuted all the claims that he made some egregious statement, undermining the power of the Queen and, by extension, the royal family. He debunked the rumors in his memoir. He explained that he did have a bit of a row with the Queen's dresser, as she was rather insistent on not letting Meghan try on the tiara of her choosing. But he claimed that this bit of bout did not at any moment cost him his wit or anger him beyond decorum, to a point where he might have uttered any statement as volatile and disrespectful as what Meghan wants, Meghan gets. However, that wasn't enough for the prince, as he wanted to set the record straight in hopes of a vindication. So, he wrote in his spare memoir, which was released on Tuesday, January 10, 2023.
Prince Harry has released his autobiography that hit shelves today. It was met with intense attention, both negative and positive. Publishers say over 400,000 copies of Prince Harry's autobiography, Spare, have been sold across the UK.
He explained in his memoir that the tiara problem wasn't any big deal to begin with, claiming that one of his mother's sisters had earlier offered his bride one of Princess Diana's tiaras, leaving her touched. He documented his grandmother's grand gesture of inviting Meghan to the royal collection, so that she could see just how much of an option she had. Harry's details are shown in the Queen's private dressing room, where he can watch Meghan try them on. In his own words, he reiterated, "She even invited us to Buckingham Palace to try them on. Do come over," I remember her saying. Prince Harry explains that the Queen had given his bride 5 tiaras to choose from, and when she made a choice, finally settling on Queen Mary's diamond bandeau, the monarch advised her to try it on with her hairdresser ahead of the big day. However, the Duke asked the Queen's dresser, Mrs. Kelly, to arrange the session, but she did not respond. He claims that when he did catch up with the Queen's dresser, she told him that taking the tiara for an appointment with Meghan's hairdresser can't be done. Harry says Miss Kelly later appeared out of thin air at Kensington Palace with a release form for him to sign before handing over the tiara. However, he suspected that she wasn't really happy to give in to his demands for the session to be done, so she gave a stern look that somehow said it wasn't over. While the world has a different account of the story, the Duke has a completely different one, which creates conflict because no one knows what the truth really is. Princess Anne recognizes the petulance that comes with youth, and how difficult it is to be part of the royal family, especially in the age of social media. Subsequently, she weighed in on the matter in a somewhat tongue-in-cheek manner, while also discussing the potential candidate to be the next Princess Royal. It's a wonder who she has in mind, but let's review her thoughts together, shall we?
Because it is about long-term planning. It's about something they can grow up with. And I know that I'm old enough now to see.
Anne speaks on monarchy's future and the tiara couples. Princess Anne has always been known to be blunt, calling a spade and basically just hitting the nail on the head. She doesn't seem to suck on decorative pleasures while beating around the bush. She simply has a go at whatever she needs to discuss. However, one can't help but feel that her recent revelation is a bit different in that regard, as she made some really damning comments that have been interpreted in a flurry of manners. While some have considered it a sly dig at King Charles III, others think she might have been cheekily having a go at the Duke of Wales and his wife. Already, there is a huge amount of uncertainty circling the name of the royal family, and this, in no small way, has added some fuel to the bonfire. To give it a bit of context, following Harry and Meghan's wedding in 2018, they have been in an unending feud with the royal family. However, it has always been under wraps, with little to no coverage given to it to avoid the media's unforgiving spotlight on the royal family. However, 5 years after their marriage, Prince Harry and Meghan Markle both decided to quit their royal roles after the most unbelievable things happened to them. Not many knew why they opted out of their roles, but the author of an unauthorized biography, Meghan, a Hollywood Princess, Andrew Morton, claimed that the couple was quite sure that the royal institution was heavily sidelining them. He believed that they allegedly came to that conclusion after they saw a photograph of the late Queen, Prince William, the now King Charles, and Prince George at Buckingham Palace in the throne room. In this book, he explained that the royal couple suspected that the entire institution was conspiring against them. As they saw it, the evidence was all around them. The unspoken code was straightforward. The future of the monarchy was assured, with or without Meghan and Harry. While many treat this as the ramblings of a know-it-all who aims to spread some propaganda about the royal family, the couple's timing of their decision to leave their roles makes it difficult to argue. They decided to drop their royal duties just 2 days after the release of the photo. While it could be some random coincidence, it really does leave a lot to think about. Many articles and podcasts have discussed their actions, seeking justification and criticism. Not only did they step back as senior members of the royal family, but they also decided to be financially independent, and made it known that they would be splitting their time between the United Kingdom and the United States, while supporting the then Queen as much as they could. Their departure from the United Kingdom triggered a deeper rift between Prince Harry and William, especially after the release of the documentary Harry and Meghan. In this series, Harry revealed why he left and how staying in the United Kingdom was affecting his marriage. But his deepest and greatest regret was his brother's choice of the institution over him. He found it terrifying to have his brother screaming and shouting at him, and his father saying things that simply weren't true, while his grandmother quietly sat there and took it all in. He believed that the saddest part of his ordeal was this wedge created between him and his brother, so he's now on the institution's side. While he duly does understand part of that, being that the throne room is William's inheritance, and it's already ingrained in him that part of his responsibility is the survival of this institution, he also wanted a bit of understanding from him. However, like a true royal, it was duty first for William. He was sure that the royal family did not particularly like Meghan, and they always had a reason to come after her, accusing her of misrepresenting what the institution stands for. Harry sees this as institutional gaslighting and concludes that she was being deliberately fed to the wolves. It hurts him that they're happy to lie to protect his brother, but they were never willing to tell the truth to protect him or his nuclear family. After Queen Elizabeth's demise, Harry released an autobiography alleging that William physically attacked him and pushed him into a dog bowl over a fight about Meghan. Princess Anne seemed to have been heartily following all of these stories, but has been silent through them, watching them unfold layer after layer. However, she has recently come out to have a say. In a recent interview, Princess Anne revealed that certain measures can reduce or even eradicate the feud in the royal family. However, she boldly refuses a claim that has been in circulation for quite a while now: slimming down the monarchy. It is common knowledge that King Charles has supported the idea.
The Princess Royal, Princess Anne, she's given an interview to talk about her brother becoming king. The most interesting thing I thought she said was about a slimmed down monarchy.
Hence, seeing the Princess Royal going against it raises quite the alarm. She voiced her objections as loudly as possible, stating that it did not sound like a positive development. Many royal watchers, as they are often called, thought Anne's comments were directed at Charles, but that may not have been the case. In her own words, "Well, I think the slimmed-down monarchy was said in a day when there were a few more people around to make that seem like a justifiable comment." Charles's idea of a slimmed-down monarchy aims to reduce the number of senior royals who can actually carry out official duties and focus the monarchy on the importance of sovereignty. In other words, he wants the monarchy to be more efficient and not simply keep losing people, as they did with Harry and Meghan, suddenly leaving their duties behind, backpedaling a little bit to Princess Anne, saying that the concept was justifiable when certain people were around has got people scratching their heads and biting their nails. Many wonder if this was a sly dig at Harry and Meghan, while others simply see it as a deliberate affront to King Charles in a bid to maintain relevance. Whatever she means, she hasn't clarified, keeping everyone guessing. However, the most important part of her interviews is her deliberation on whom she thinks should be the next Princess Royal. By popular demand, many have already leaned towards the possibility of having Princess Charlotte become the next Princess Royal when her father becomes king. This is because the title is traditionally given to the eldest daughter of the monarch. However, Princess Anne has always had the same ethic to work as usual. Titles should be earned, not given. There is an urban rumor that she is watching Princess Charlotte with a keen eye and sense of interest, and Charlotte seems to have impressed the old head. Although still a child, Charlotte has proven to have the qualities required of someone who needs to be a leader. These include poise, curiosity, and an aura that follows her. These immense qualities on display from a rather young age are said to have impressed Princess Anne, and she sees Charlotte as a kindred spirit with whom she shares the same qualities and can take over the role of Princess Royale in the future. Whether she has made the right choice or not remains to be seen. What really does the future hold for the royal family? Do you think Princess Charlotte has what it takes to take over from Princess Anne as the Princess Royale? Share your thoughts with us in the comments section. Remember to like, share, and subscribe for more. Also, click the next video showing on your screen. You will enjoy it.